Does anyone know what capital improvement fees are?
Tell me.
So what we're starting to see, and we have over the last year, so when you buy a home that's in an HOA,
Okay.
you have certain fees that are expected. You have a resale certificate that a seller has to get, and you have a transfer fee that's typically split between the buyer and the seller. And then on top of that, they're sliding in this, what they call capital improvement fees.
Okay.
So, when you're doing a net sheet for someone, and you're like, yeah, you're going to have to pay for a buyer. Let's use a buyer as an example. You're going to have to pay, X amount of HOA dues up front. It's a prorated amount, and that's what they expect to pay. And then you talk about your resale certificate, and you should be expected to pay about half of what that transfer fee is. Okay. And then you may even go as far as say, hey, there's also these fees if you go to sell it, or when you buy it, that there's an additional fee. Okay, we got that covered. But what we're seeing now on top of that, you'll have like $500 or $600 up to $2,000 I've seen of capital improvement fees. And it's like, what is that? Well, the HOA is taking that and putting it into a fund.
That they have fun with.
I don't know what they do with it.
I think fun.
I think we should explore that a little bit more and understand. When you ask, they're like, well, it just goes into this account, and they almost make it seem like, it's like a deposit, and then you'll get it back if you ever sell, but you don't. You don't.
Do you know what I think they do with it? Is I think they buy those world famous chocolate bars that are like $2 a piece from the kids. I think they invest all the money in that, and then they eat the candy bars at Halloween and don't give them out to the kids.
So that's something to know. If it's a newer subdivision and they have plans to put some different amenities in, could be something like that. If they're planning to put, there's various things that I think they use it for. But it is it goes in, never comes back out. So, I started to think that maybe they do that in the event that, say you have a few foreclosures in the neighborhood and somebody doesn't pay, and there's this fund that will go ahead and cover that, but I don't know. So just be aware of that and ask that up front.
Seems like they're establishing a buffer account, like with your escrows or something like that. And why are you the buffer payer?
Well, and
right?
it should be part of the addendum for the HOA. We have who's going to pay. The seller's going to provide the resale certificate. Who's going to pay for the transfer fee, and then there's nothing in there about capital improvements. So I feel like that should be something that's in the contract and kind of discussed and disclosed and.
Seems shady to me.
I mean,
super shady.
I don't like it. So
all right. Well, that's okay.
Be aware of that.
I am very aware now.